What's going on, people, and welcome to my match recap and player ratings for yesterday's game. Everton 1, Manchester United 0, in a game which I predicted us to get a draw, and we obviously got a worse result against a team that is very in much danger of relegation and did themselves no harm yesterday in getting out of that relegation danger. But from a top half team in ourselves, even though we are underperforming, we're still a top half team. And how we played yesterday, just downed tools, as you'll see in the title for this video. I mean, even if you're not performing in terms of your overall ability and your potential that we've seen in the past from a lot of these players, you've got to have the effort there. You've got to have the fight. You've got to have the leadership. None of that was there yesterday. None of it. There was two players I thought that were playing for the badge yesterday, which was De Gea and Matic. Matic, for me, spoiler alert, was my man of the match. And he got took off just over the hour mark on about the 62nd, 63rd minute. And whether or not that's because he just was knackered and he can't play longer, or it was because if it was tactical, Ranić got it very wrong, because Matic was easily the best player on that pitch for us yesterday, other than De Gea. Outfield player, easily. And he's playing that defensive midfield role that we desperately need someone to play. Now, if it's a case of him just being fatigued, I get it. But if it's tactical, he got that wrong. De Gea, again, made a couple saves at least to keep us in the game. But then we end up losing it anyway. So people are probably going to blame him again now, and he's not at fault. I liked what he said in his post-match interview, where he said that it was disgraceful. Because it was. It's disgusting. You got the stuff happening with Ronaldo smashing an Everton fan's phone. You can't excuse that. There was no leadership from Ronaldo yesterday, because we know that Maguire's not a leader anyway, despite having the captain's armband. De Gea is the leader in that team for me, because Ronaldo didn't step up yesterday. He wasn't shouting at no one. He wasn't bollocking no one yesterday. He looks like he just wants to be off on his holidays and leave. And to a certain extent, I get it. But whilst you're here, give us the effort and show us, like, lead that team, even though you haven't got the armband, because we know you and De Gea are the leaders, not Maguire. I'm not shocked by Maguire's actions yesterday of just, when the camera goes on him, he's just looking around at other people and just looking like he wants to cry. Grow some balls, grow a spine, and show leadership like we used to have with a Roy Keane or a Steve Bruce. Even a Rooney. We're not seeing it. And you have to have that as a minimum, as a basic. And it wasn't there again yesterday in a team that we should be beating in Everton right now. They're struggling. They were poor again yesterday, and they were still probably better than us. I mean, that speaks volumes. The one chance they had, they scored. There was one other chance where Richarlison had a deflected shot off a Lindelof, and it's looping over De Gea, and he tips it over the bar. Apart from that, they were shocking. They had a midfield of Allen, Iwobi, and who was the other one? I can't remember who the other one was now. And they ran us all over the park. That can't be happening. And yet it does. And it did. We get beaten in midfield every game. Despite who we got Norwich next. They'll probably beat us in the midfield as well. They've just won now. I've just watched them. They've got hunger. They've got fight. Even if the ability ain't there on the day, they'll grind a result out because they've got the fight in them. And they want to survive. Where is that for our players that are on astronomical wages? That them sort of players at Norwich, that they won't ever see that sort of money, and they're pulling it out of the bag and rolling their sleeves up. And we can't even do that with the money we're on. Show some gratitude. Show some fight and passion for the club. Show you want to play for the club. That club's got history, more than a lot of other clubs, and they're embarrassing the badge. They're not playing for Ranić. They're still sulking because Ollie left. That's the impression I get. What are we, in play school? Your best mate leaves, so you're going to not do any work. And what are we doing? Fair play to Everton yesterday. They deserved to win, even though they were crap. Because we were worse. And when I look at the table, I don't even know how we're in the top 10. Because we were shocking. And as I said, two players, the rest were awful. It's not good enough. It's embarrassing. We downed more tools than a retiring Carpenter. Absolute shite. Gordon, I really like him anyway. The goal deflects off of Maguire as well, just to rub even more salt into the wound. If it could deflect off anyone, it's got to be him. Like, you couldn't make it up. And we've got Fletcher on the sideline telling people that are coming on what to do. Fuck off, mate. What are you doing? You're meant to be, what is he meant to be, the director or something? And what are you doing on the sideline then? What are you doing on the bench next to Ranić, acting like his assistant? Fuck off. You was a good servant for the club, but you are not experienced in your position you're meant to have right now. And you're not even doing a position that we're told you're supposed to be doing. Because you're at pitch side, you're on the fucking warm-up. You're in the warm-ups on the pitch before the game as well. What are you doing? You might as well be the manager. It's an absolute joke. This club is a mess, and it doesn't surprise me, but it's just getting worse. And no one seems to give a shit. Shocking. I got to get into player ratings because I'll be here all day ranting, because that yesterday was a pile of shit, and today it's like it happened today because of how bad it is. There's no excusing how they played yesterday. Running, well, I say running, they were jogging and walking about the whole game. No one wants to press, no one wants to put effort in, and people like Pogba come on as a sub, nearly got sent off. It's not good enough. Player ratings, David De Gea, I'd give him an average. You could give him just above average. He did make a couple key saves in the game, but we ended up losing the game. I don't think it's his fault, but I can't give him an above because I feel like I could give him a 6, I suppose, but because we lost the game, I can't give him an above average. But I don't think he was the worst. By, as I said, other than Matic, he was the best player on the pitch for us. And when one of your contending players for man of the match is an average, that tells you what the fucking squad is like and how we're playing and the mess and the state the club is in. So an average for De Gea. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 3. I don't know why he's playing over Delo anyway. He was shite. And he offers nothing for me. Got beat countless times in the game. I thought he was poor. 3. Lindelof, 3 as well. I like Lindelof, but yesterday I thought he was poor as well. Maguire, 3. The goal deflects off of him as well. There's no leadership from him. Maguire, like, people aren't going to listen to him. And he's not even doing the bollocking anyway. But if he does, people aren't going to listen to him, because what has he won? He's not won nothing. Maguire, 3. Telles, 3. I like Telles as well, but again, yesterday, his delivery, especially from crosses and corners, was shite. Absolute shite. And that's ultimately one of the key things we bought him for, was his delivery, and it was poor yesterday. 3 for Telles. Fred, 3. Gives the pass to Matic that ends up in the goal, and Matic get dispossessed. Fred should not give Matic that ball in that position of the field with 2 people on him. He should know better. And that goal for Everton is Fred's fault, even though Matic loses it, because he shouldn't be receiving that pass where he does. So that goal for me is at Fred's fault. Matic for me was man of the match in that centre of defensive midfield role. I thought he was spraying passes around, making key tackles, strong on the ball, making good decisions, and he gets subbed off at the hour mark. 7, man of the match for me, Matic. And the reason why he's in the thumbnail, because he was the only one that didn't embarrass himself yesterday for me. Rashford, 3. Absolute shite. Apparently there's been stuff saying that, like all the moaning he's been doing, and he actually gets started in his position he wants to play in yesterday. He's getting backed up in the media by his mates. And look how he performs yesterday. Absolute shower of shit. Shower of shit. 3 for Rashford. Bruno, 3. I thought he started well, but then drifted. And let me also say as well, Rashford started well in the game. He had 2 chances, and at least one of them he should score. So I was surprised with Rashford's start yesterday, and I actually had him about a 6 or a 7 yesterday for his start. But then he drifted off into the game, and he was absolutely useless. No effort, no pressing, making the wrong decisions he usually makes. So even though he started well, it finished in shit. So 3 for Rashford, 3 for Bruno. Started well again for me, but then it tailored off, and he's doing his bitching and moaning as always, and making wrong decisions all the time, losing the ball needlessly. Sancho, 3. I thought he was very quiet, didn't get a lot of service, but was poor when he did have it. And Ronaldo also a 3. Had a little half chance near the end of the game, which Pickford saved, but no leadership from Ronaldo, and I think he's give up. Like I said, certain parts of me gets it, but other parts don't, because while we're still here, we need that from him, and he's not offering it now, and he was. And it's like he's give up, and obviously the incident going off the pitch as well with a fan. It's just more negativity in around the club that we don't need. Pogba, free, comes on, doesn't influence the game, gets a yellow card and nearly gets a second yellow. So he could have got sent off. Shit, didn't influence the game. Mata, free, I don't think he come on and done anything. And Elanga as well, come on, didn't do anything. So a free, absolute shite yesterday. And we deserve nothing more than a loss yesterday. I don't think we're going to get Europa football at this stage, and we don't deserve to. So we deserve conference, if not no conference. Ranić, for me, I'd give him a 3 because I don't agree with Wan-Bissaka starting, and I don't agree with Rashford starting. And ultimately, they proved that in their ratings, as did most of them yesterday. But for me, Rashford shouldn't be starting, and neither should Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and neither should Maguire. But this is no new thing that we know. Body language, though, yesterday, most of the team walking and jogging about. They don't look bothered, not enough effort, not playing to their ability and their capabilities. And they're not doing the basics. They can't even do few-yard passes without messing it up and getting dispossessed or losing possession. And a lot of the time when they're doing that, there's not even any pressing and pressure on them from the opposition for them to be losing the ball, but they're still losing the ball. So absolute shit yesterday. Matic was the only bright spark for me. And obviously he's in his last days of football, really. He's going to be retiring soon. So the one bright spark ain't going to be here soon. And I feel sorry for De Gea as well. I'll give him an average. But again, pressure on his goal. That what else is he going to do in these games other than get blamed for if we lose a game because he doesn't save shots that the defence should be dealing with. So, fair play to Everton, I'm not surprised. And we've got Norwich next in the league, and they've just beat Burnley. And if they play like they did today with the effort alone, they're going to give us a hard game. Bottom of the table or not, because they got more fight in them than we have. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, and your feelings on it. And before I go, 2,000 subscribers by the 1st of June. I can only do it with your support. So come and join me on the road to 2,000, guys. As I say, I'm feeling deflated and pissed off about yesterday because it ain't good enough. And then players are an embarrassment to the shirt. And most of them need to go, if I'm honest. So they can grab their tools and fuck off. I'll see you soon.